Welcome to Romano Leadership's development channel, leadership and DEI development for mission-driven individuals and organizations.
Today's episode is titled, Develop Others, Get Results.
When I stepped into my first leadership role, I thought I had to do it all perfectly. And I also thought I needed to have all the answers. And developing others wasn't on my radar because I focused on getting the job done. How do you think that went? It was a disaster. I lost trust with others, wasn't getting results, was overstressed and was overworked. It was enough to make me want to quit my job, honestly. But then, everything changed when I got a new manager who truly prioritized my development instead of just holding me accountable to different tasks. The principal I worked under at the time, Cliff Clapham, taught me that the best leaders develop those around them. And since then, I have directly managed dozens of individuals and have been indirectly responsible for developing hundreds of others, or thousands if you include my former students. You see, Cliff used to reference Greg Popovich, longtime head coach of the NBA San Antonio Spurs, and his coaching constant. He talked about it all the time. And he pointed out how Coach Pop didn't just develop his players to win games, but rather to win at life, as evidenced by the number of them who have gone on to have successful coaching roles across the NBA. I believe a true leader can partially measure their success through their coaching tree. Right? In my direct coaching tree, I'm proud to have played a role in the ascendance of some of my former direct reports into 2 current school principals, 3 district level administrators, 3 school level administrators, and many others who have continued to excel in their roles. I know through firsthand experience that developing others directly leads to improving student achievement results. If it's so clear, then what gets in the way? Why doesn't everyone do it? You see, there's some myths, I think, of developing others, right? Beliefs that can often get in the way of a manager developing their people. The first one revolves around time. The myth can go along, something like this. I don't have enough time to develop others. Right? You might think that you need to dedicate too much time, or time that you might otherwise be spending on necessary work. The fact is, though, developing others will save you time. By developing others' skill sets, you are supporting their growth and teaching them skills that will enable them to take on responsibilities previously on your plate, right? So they're going to be helping you out in the long run. Another myth revolves around skill. I don't know how to develop others. You don't even know how to start the development process of the people you lead, right? It's an issue about skill. You don't think you have that skill, that ability to do so. But the fact is that there are countless resources, everywhere, that can help you learn how to develop others. If you'd like to engage in your learning, there are countless books, podcasts, and courses you can take. You can also hire an outside party with the experience that you need that can guide you through it all. Another myth revolves around the misalignment on what development looks like. So the myth can go along something like this, I know I'm developing others because they are doing their job well. Right? You think that their successful completion of their work is all the development they need. But the fact is that developing others involves more than supporting them in their current work. A lot more than that. It's about supporting them for their future job or future project. You see, great developers of people are constantly thinking about what's next, not just what is. Right? It's not just about the present, but about the future as well. Another myth revolves around greed. If I develop them too well, then I'll lose them. See, you might not want to develop people, right? You don't want people to get too good, then quit and leave you having to hire and train their replacement. But the fact is, developing others will promote loyalty and encourage people to continue working for you. It takes a lot for an employee to leave a manager who's been so invested in their employee's development. And when the time comes for an employee to move on, their loyalty might even push them to take it upon themselves to recruit, hire, and train their replacements. Imagine that. Right? That's going to set you up for success long term. Another myth revolves around insecurity. If I develop them too well, then I'm putting my job at risk. You aren't confident enough in your own abilities to have a developing, high quality staff member working right below you. But the fact is, developing others will place you in the spotlight too. You see, a client recently shared with me how certain people in his organization keep getting promoted because they are known to be great developers of people. Right? People see them and they say, wow, this is somebody that I want in another leadership role. Another myth revolves around, it's not my job. That idea that it's not my job, right? You might say, oh, it's my job to get results, not to develop others. You think it's your sole purpose to focus on the tangible work products that you oversee. But the fact is that these days, the greatest results will come from a well-developed team. As an individual employee, you just need to worry about your work. As a manager, you are responsible for much more getting done. But it'd be nearly impossible to do it all alone. You really can't. You need a team behind you to make sure you get everything done. So, how do you get started? Well, you start by building trust. Be honest and vulnerable with yourself. You need to get clear on what's holding you back from developing others. Is it a mindset issue? A skill issue? Once you know the root cause, you can address it. But again, it's about really looking inside and seeing what it is that's holding you back from it. The second way is to know your team's strengths and weaknesses. You can't develop others if you don't know what they're good at and what they're not good at. Just by knowing their strengths and weaknesses, you're going to be more vigilant for opportunities where you can give them targeted feedback. Right? You'll be able to support them where they need that support. The third way is to know where your team wants to go. A great teacher plans their lesson with the end in mind. What should their students know and be able to do by the end of the lesson? And a great leader needs to know where their team wants to end up to help them get there. So we talked about building trust. The next stage is building skills.
Thanks for watching.
The first way to do that is to develop yourself. It'll be challenging to start developing others if you aren't setting yourself up for success and you aren't developing yourself. Today's access to nearly unlimited and many free development tools, such as articles and podcasts, means you have no excuse to skimp on your development. No excuse. You can dive right in. Second way to build your skills, to learn the basics of coaching. The most effective coaches constantly provide their direct reports with clear guidance on how to perform. They provide them with opportunities to act independently and give them regular feedback on their performance. Right? So engage with that art of coaching. Third way to build your skills, outsource for development. Even the most outstanding performer can benefit from a great coach. Find people in your organization who might be willing to serve as mentors for yourself and your team. You can also contract coaching firms like my firm, Vermont Leadership, to support your work. See, at the end of the day, you don't need to obtain results at the expense of developing your employees. By focusing on your team's development, you'll be happier, your team will be happier, and results will come your way. I guarantee that. You will get results if you focus on developing your team.